What's going on, guys? We're back here with another video. Really appreciate the support on the last one. We're trying to get more of them out to you guys. But yeah, for today we got a Rain team here that I think is really good. Rain was really popular back in Reg H. Doesn't see a lot of play here in Reg F, but we have a similar core. We have Pelipper, Archaludon, Amoonguss, and with Urshifu, and then Chien-Pao and Fluttermane as the supporters. Yeah, so let's just get right into the team. Chien-Pao is going to be running a different set than you typically see. Still Terra Ghost Adamant, but we have Ice Shard instead of a Sucker Punch here. I think Ice Shard's a little bit better into the meta right now, just because there's a lot of hate towards Sucker Punch right now. You got to play like some priority move mind games with certain mons. T-Wave Flutter or even Taunt Flutter is really annoying, since you can't click Sucker Punch into that. Ice Shard just also does more damage into Rillaboom as well. But yeah, and then next mon here is gonna be Urshifu. This is gonna be our water attacker. I think on rain teams you almost always want like a super solid like water attacker here. Same spread as I used in the last one. Lives Thunderclap, lives Glide when Pow's on the field. I just want to be doing as much damage as we can here with the rain and the Terra Water boost here. I've seen some other teams that go like Terra Grass or another defensive Terra, but I think that water is just super valuable because sometimes you don't want to make game plans around Pelipper. And water just gives you that boost when sometimes you need it and you can't have the rain. Also, like water, Terra Water plus like rain and Chien-Pao on the field is just huge multipliers that like you're just KOing basically anything. Sorry, my phone's going off there. Let's Discord real quick. All right, we're all good there. So yeah, and then Archaludon here. This is gonna be like the main piece of the team. Pretty weird to EV. I didn't know what benchmarks I wanted to hit, so the main one that I was just mainly concerned about was eating a CC. So some are max attack, but we also have redirection, so I wasn't too keen on living max attack, but this one was just like with 156, which is pretty standard in the format. And then I just went 36 modest, went to a speed stat that I thought was good, which was around 112. And then I just jumped the rest in special defense and hope for the best. Terra Grass is just a really good Terra for us here. You want a Terra that's going to resist Urshifu just because you're setting up the rain. And then you want a Terra that is going to be good into glide spam. And then Grass also helps you get around Amoonguss. So yeah, Draco Meteor, you can run Dragon Pulse. I just think Draco Meteor is better just because you want that huge burst damage that you can get without needing to set up always. It makes Archaludon like more bringable if you want to bring something like Arch, Amoonguss, and then Flutter or Pow, rather than just, that just mainly means like if you don't want to bring the Peli always, let's Arch shine a bit more in that regard. Arch I think is just like super good, super underrated. There's a lot of teams that don't really have an answer to Arch plus one of the other attackers on the team because it's just, they have a really hard time doing resource management where they can handle one, but it's really hard to handle the other or handle both at the same time. So yeah, that's Arch. Onto Peli here. Rocky Helmet is just going to give you the most value. You can go, I think Covert Cloak is another good item. I think Rocky Helmet is just really nice just because, again, you're setting up a lot of other mons that are really good into you, like an Urshifu, or Fake Outs are really common into Pelipper. So just punishing them by making them take chip is super important. Went for a really bulky Pelipper spread here, just to live the most attacks that we can. And then speed here just to make sure we're outspeeding like Rillabooms, Raging Bolts, and other stuff in the format. Just trying to be as bulky as we can. Steel I just thought was the best Terra. Steel is like the best defensive type in this meta, so it's really good. Yeah, so Hurricane, Weather Ball, Tailwind, and Wide Guard. I don't really think Protect is too necessary on this set. Pelipper is usually just here to set up Arch and Urshifu, and then you want as much value as you can get, so Tailwind and Wide Guard provide that. Just as good support options. Next will be Amoonguss. Amoonguss here has the Mental Herb. I think a lot of people are too quick to put Citrus Berry on Amoonguss. I think there's just so many better items for Amoonguss right now in the meta. I think Mental Herb's the best. There's just so much Taunt Flutter and Taunt Mons going around in general that you get just so much value out of Mental Herb. A lot of people's matchups into stuff like this is that they'll just say, oh, I'll just taunt the Amoonguss, and then it only gets like Rage Powder off once. And then it won't be able to click Spore. But with Mental Herb, like, you can just sit in front of a Fluttermane, they go for taunt, and then you spore them. It's a bit better in best of 1, something like a GC, but it still works in best of 3 just because it requires like more like pressure, it demands more from your opponent whenever you have Mental Herb on Amoonguss. I think Cloak is also another item that's really good. Just because the same thing, they can't click fake out. A lot of people's options in Amoonguss, I'll just fake out cycle it, I'll just click fake out and then it can't move. So that's similar. I've seen a lot of Terra Fire on rain comps, and I'm not really sure I get it, right? Because if you think about the moves that you want to be redirecting from Archaludon, right? You want to be redirecting like Landorus, Lando Eyes moves. So you don't want to be weak to that Earth Power or Sludge Bomb. You want to be redirecting Surging Strikes. So you don't want to be weak to Surging Strikes after you Terra. And like the moves that you're wanting to resist with like a fire, like Grass maybe, and like at that point, like Arch is already taking those, and it kind of wants those moves because then you're feeding into its stamina boosts and body presses. And that's one of Arch's biggest strengths, is that it can hit multiple ways. Like you can't whittle it down because then it's just gonna body press you over and over again, right? I just thought that was like just a really important part of Amoonguss, is just having that Terra Water anchor. And then we go for Pollen Puff and Sludge Bomb rather than no Protect. It sometimes feels a bit awkward not having Protect, but I think it works here just because you really want the Pollen Puff to support Archaludon, because it can get low from all the special attackers in the format. And Pollen Puff just makes it so Arch is that much more threatening, and Amoonguss isn't as much of a dead piece on the board if it ends up getting taunted or it's in a position where it can't redirect moves. And then Sludge Bomb's just really nice offensively into the meta right now. Lets it handle stuff like Rillaboom and Ogerpon. Really nice. And it just makes it so it's an actual offensive mon on the team rather than just being there. And the last mon is Fluttermane. So I decided to talk about Fluttermane last just because I see it most commonly swapped out on teams. I've seen Scale Shot D-Knight mainly as the other one, and I think there's a lot of room to explore this last piece. I think Fluttermane's really interesting. I actually like it a lot just because it's kind of like, it's a good bait piece, honestly, to Archaludon. Like, it's really easy to bait 2 Grassy Glides into Fluttermane, and then you swap in your Arch, and then boom, your Arch is already +2 defense. And then it's healing off that grassy terrain or something like that. Or you can bait Surging Strikes from Scarf Urshifu, and then boom, your Arch is now at +3 defense. You know, it also just covers a lot of what the team is not as good into, right? You're not going to be as good into opposing Fluttermane, especially if they're their booster speed, and Shadow Ball should be able to take them out, get them low enough. It gives you nice, good spread option as the team doesn't have any spread. You know, it kind of just fulfills the roles that you want. But I think there's definitely room to explore there. The spread here is just kind of like an all-arounder that I used last Reg F. I believe it lives like Chenpao Ice Spinner, if I remember. It lives Jolly Crash, but I believe the one that's like specifically calc for is like you're living Spinner, and then I believe you're living Ivy Cudgel from Ogerpon. If I'm calculating correctly, yeah, Adamant, this would be like, so like in this form, maybe like a Jolly 252, you're living Cudgels, like that's important. And then the speed tier also outspeeds Jolly max speed Ogerpon, which I thought was, you know, somewhat important. And then the rest is just a dump and special attack. Okay, let's get into some games here. I think the team has a pretty good matchup spread. It's pretty fair around the board, and we will pair into a Tailwind offense team here to start. Chi-Yu with Hurricane Torn. Wow. Sandseared Lando, Water Ursh, Amoonguss. Definitely interesting. Pelly definitely comes in handy here just because of the Rocky Helmet and the Wide Guard, obviously. Arch is a bit awkward to bring into here, so I don't think I'll bring it. I definitely like Ursh. I like Ursh Pelly lead. Just screams out to me, Ursh Pelly lead. Just because you have so many tools. Yeah, we can match their Tailwind and wear Scarf, so we should be fine there. He does have the Rocky Helmet Amoonguss, which is a bit annoying. But I think I'll round out the team with, let's see, Chenpao, definitely, because it has Ice Shard for Orlando. But then we do need some more options to some of his mons. I kind of want to bring Amoonguss, but then our Dango answers are kind of weak. So I think I'll split between Arch and Flutter here. And I think ultimately I want to bring... Well, with Fluttermane. I think it's just better for late game here. He will lead Torn Lando. So I think, honestly, I'll go for Terra Water, Surging, and Rain, and just match our Tailwind here. If he swaps some Moongus and Hurricanes, then like maybe we're in a tricky situation, but even then we should be fine the next turn. All things considered. We just kind of want the Landers down here. Because Torn will be easier to deal with our Ice Shard. I guess Lando is also Ice Shardable, but it's a bit more finicky with a Terra here. Oh, he's actually going to swap Dango, interestingly enough. We will just get it down. I assume he went for Hurricane onto Urshifu. He does. No confusion? Well, we do confused. We'll set Tailwind. I think we're fine, yeah. I mean, like, Urshifu's faster than everything on the field. I'm fine swapping in Fluttermane, sacking it, and then going for a... we could make a call on if he's going to Terra or not. I think just getting torn down to Sash is fine here. Yeah, we'll just get torn down to Sash here with a Hurricane. Maybe should have been a Weather Ball, but not the end of the world. Go for Tailwind, Surging Strikes. And then we can go back into our Urshifu, go for Surging Strikes, plus a Weather Ball. Since he already Terra'd now, we obviously have that Ice Shard play for the end game to deal with both his Lando, unless he keeps his Urshifu alive, which I don't think he will. Yeah, Urshifu dies, and even if it did, the recoil from Pelipper plus another attack would have been enough. And then we have Chien-Pao to lock up the game here with Ice Shard and Weather Ball. Doesn't really matter. Not going to be able to live the Ice Shard. So we should be completely fine. Just go for Protect. Nothing wrong with that. Still lock the same play. Yeah, we'll kill Lando. Get ready to go in the next game. For an adaptation, I think I think Amoonguss is the only adaptation that makes sense from him, in my opinion. He kind of just sacked his Dango for no reason, but even then, they don't really know how much it was putting in. I think Flutter Pow is just still good for us here. Archaludon is a little bit better into some of the stuff, but it's hard to deal with Urshifu and Lando for the Archaludon to be really useful. Not too sure what he'll stick with here. I think he'll definitely bring Lando, Torn, and Amoonguss, hopefully. And then probably Ursh. We definitely just need to get that Tailwind set turn 1. If he's leading something like Torn Chi-Yu to try to get our Pelly down, then I think it should be fine, because then he's sacking his like early game really hard, because he has to go for something like a Terra Dark Pulse, I would assume, into Pelly in order to even get that KO. Yeah, Terra Dark Pulse. So we should be fine at that point if he's committing that much. But yeah, taking a while here. Ursh Pelly from us still, and Lando Amoonguss. So yeah, we see the Amoonguss. Not an issue, really. Think we're fine just to go for a U-turn. Take that Rocky Helmet chip. Not the worst thing in the world. Plus our Hurricane. If he's burning Terra to survive, we still should be fine, honestly. Kind of sucks that we don't have that much investment, so where the Hurricane might not kill. All things considered, but you know, it's not that bad. Actually, we'll just go for Terra Rage Powder. Completely fine. We'll swap into Fluttermane. I imagine he goes for a Earth Power here. Yeah, it goes for Earth Power. The crit is something that we definitely did not want to see. That's definitely annoying. I will swap into Chien-Pao. We put pressure on him here, and I'll just go for Weather Ball into Amoonguss. He already burned Terra, so I think Urshifu should be able to sweep up his team. We have Ice Shard for Lando, and then Pelly should be able to handle Urshifu, and Urshifu should be able to handle everything else in the back here. I'm going to go for Protect Weather Ball. It just seems like the overall safest play we can go for. Not really sure what he'll want to do here. Actually, I think we'll go for Ice Shard Weather Ball. That probably is a bit safer, just so making sure that we get that KO here on the Amoonguss. I could Rage Powder or just go for a Protect or a Double Protect to scout. Swaps wouldn't make that much sense here. I guess if he swaps Urshifu, but even then, you know, it's a bit risky. Swap Chi. Interesting. Swap Chi Protect. I guess if he wants some HP back, it's not the worst. Kind of just sacks the Chi, maybe predicting that, you know, like a Crash plus, or a Crash into the Amoonguss plus like a Weather Ball into Lando. But I think I will double up here. Actually, we can Protect and Weather Ball this turn just because he has to Rage Powder, otherwise his Lando would go down. And he's just going to go for Sands here. Completely fine with that. And then now we can go for Ice Spinner plus Weather Ball. Oh, sorry. And then we'll get both KOs. Ice Spinner will kill the Amoonguss. Weather Ball will kill the Lando. If he protects one, the other dies. So he's kind of in a pinch here, unless he wants to go for another swap. And then we'll still have one more turn of rain. Could double protect. That way we're on our last turn. But even then at that point, Urshifu should be able to sweep every mon he has in the back with Pelly's help. So that shouldn't end up being all that difficult, in my opinion. I think maybe we should swap the targeting here. Not that it matters all that much. It's kind of just if he is going for an Urshifu swap, I think. We'd rather just have Weather Ball do more damage. It's going to be Dango last. We will just go for an Ice Shard plus a swap into Urshifu. Actually, no, we won't swap Urshifu. It's maybe a bit of a throw. I have to get a triple here to stall our Ice Shard. Well, I guess we should be going for Ice Spinner, but like the spreads aren't going to live Ice Shard, to be honest. But yeah. Weather Ball does a good chunk to Gholdengo here. We can just go for Ice Spinner plus her Blind Hurricane. Pelly will get that, and we'll take the win. Just going to be really nice. Okay, on to our next game here. I think that just kind of showed how good the Urshifu side of the team is. The team kind of has two modes, like one where Urshifu's the center of all the damage, and then one where Archaludon is the main damage dealer. Clamrilla, Ogerpon, and then a Speed Booster Flutter, AV Bolt, Mystic Ursh, and a Gholdengo. Definitely a lot of options on their side. I think I really like Ursh Amoonguss to bait glides and electric moves, and then we swap an Arch, get the defense boost, and then we're golden from there. Amoonguss just is really nice because they have the taunt, but you know, can't really make that much progress off of it. I kind of want to bring Pelly, that way Amoonguss isn't as threatened from the Ivy Cudgels, but I don't think it's the best. I think that we need to support Archaludon more, so I think I'll go Flutter Mane in the back here. Take cares of Dango, take cares of the Urshifu. Is super good for us here. Yeah, I will just honestly swap Arch. No reason not to. I think if I'm picking a Mon to Spore, it's probably going to be Flutter Mane here. No swaps from him. He's going to go for the taunt. But with Mental Herb, that's that good tech right there. He goes for T-Bolt into Arch. Doesn't do anything, you know. Gives us a stack. And then I can just go for Flash Cannon. I'm assuming we're going to be faster Flash Cannon plus a Sludge Bomb. If he's going for Snarl, you know, you're going to be giving us even more Body Press stacks here. Just Draco into Amoonguss. It's fine. We take out Flare Mane here with that double up. It's going to be super nice. And then he's going to bring in Rillaboom. He has high horsepower, but, you know, you're just feeding into our Body Press stacks at that point. I think Amoonguss is fine to swap out here just for right now. Definitely don't want it to go down too early. Otherwise, we are in a really awkward spot, to be honest with you. I think maybe we could have spored the Raging Bolt there, but I didn't want the Flutter to wake up early and do some shenanigans. I think for right now, I'll just go for Body Press plus, let's see, we're probably dying to another Draco, so we'll swap Flutter here, and we should be fine. High Horsepower is going to do 30%, but you know, now we're going to do even more to this Rillaboom in return. Go for our Draco, won't really do anything here, and then we can go for a Dazzling Gleam plus a Body Press into the Raging Bolt, maybe a Terra Dazzling Gleam, that way you get some KOs here. Actually threatens the Rillaboom as well, since he has Glide, but the Raging Bolt's -2, so he's not killing. So yeah, I'll go for a Body Press plus a Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam. If he's Terra Firing, hey, now we can redirect with Amoonguss, which is going to be really good. He'll take Recoil. I don't think that's enough to KO him. Actually, just live on 1. And so will his Raging Bolt here. And then we can go for a Body Press plus Aqua Jet. We're faster, which means he can't get us with any clap. And then we have Body Press here for a Raging Bolt. He has Urshifu for his last. We can just go for a Body Press, consistent damage, swap out into our Amoonguss. I'll go for Surging Strikes. And then we're maxed out. We'll just go for Rage Powder Body Press. And that just shows you how oppressive Archaludon is into these balance teams. They don't really have that many options into them, right? And once you get these stacks going, they just can't really touch you. You know, that guy wasted his Draco. We got his Flutter Mane down turn 1. Shows just how good the Mental Herb is. And he just had a really tough time dealing with it. It's hard to bring a lead that's like good into Urshifu without getting super baited by the Archaludon here. So I just really like the brings that I brought, and I'm just gonna stick with them. Definitely has like the plot set up here, right? So I think what I'll do here is I'm gonna go for the Terra Surging Strikes. Yeah, we'll do Terra Surging Strikes. We'll do normal Surging Strikes in case he wants to go for one here. Plus a Sludge Bomb. I imagine it's just fake out. So we should be fine here. Probably setting up a nasty plot here. Go for Sludge Bomb. That's huge damage into the Rillaboom. We will go for a Surging Strikes, Terra Water Surging Strikes, plus a swap to Archaludon. Get some defense boost, and then we can repivot back into our own Flutter Mane or our Amoonguss here. Terra Water Surging Strikes, going to be doing big damage to the Goldango here. He's going to be taking Life Orb Recoil. Shadow Ball, Archaludon, going to eat that. Probably Wood Hammers us here. He's going to go for High Horsepower. Still completely fine. Bit worried about Make It Rain and Glide, mostly. I definitely get why he played like that, though. We shouldn't be faster than this Goldango. We're in a really tricky spot here. Think that we kind of are just forced to sack our board, but I don't really see a way forward now. Just because of my high horsepower, I'd rather just have him kill me. I think I'll swap Amoonguss, maybe hope for a misplay. And then I'll just Body Press Rillaboom, maybe we're faster. Go for Glide. Make It Rain goes next. We do get board wiped. And then Flutter Mane. Flutter Mane, unfortunately, is probably just not going to be able to clutch this one out for us. Yeah, he still has Terra available. We're just not going to be able to get there. But I think we're fine here. Like, I think Arch could have been better. We just didn't set it up properly. To be honest with you, I'm just going to lead Ursh Pelly, you know, and just have Arch and Amoonguss in the back. If he wants to play passive like that, you know, I'm not going to let him. I'm going to be more aggressive with Pelipper and Urshifu here, and we're going to punish him if he's just going to play like that. Urshifu and Ogerpon. He can go for the Glide. I'm going to swap Archaludon, and I will just go for a Hurricane into the Urshifu slot, probably KO. If he wants a KO on Pelly, he's going to have to double it up and take huge recoil off of Surging Strikes and a Glide. He could SD, but I think we would be fine here. He's going to swap in Rillaboom, see what he wants to go for. It's going to be that Terra Fire. He's going to Glide here into Arch. Not really doing a whole lot. We have the rain set up now. Game's completely in our favor. Hurricane just kills Rillaboom because he's Clam. instead of that commonly used Assault Vest. I think I will go for a Tailwind plus E-Shot here. Yeah, 'cause predicting the Thunderclap on our Pelipper. We don't want to die, so now we go for E-Shot into Ogerpon. And then we can go for another Electro Shot plus a swap to Amoonguss here. Electro Shot goes into Ogerpon. Even use Draco or Snarling will still be fine. We probably shouldn't be dead to a Draco crit, and then we can redirect here with Amoonguss. We can actually just go for Spore here, completely fine. Get another E-Shot off into Ogerpon, and now the game's over. We just put ourselves in a really good spot by leading super aggressive into him, right? We got him off the Flutter game 1 because we're that mental herb. And then game 2 and game 3 he didn't bring it, so that way we were able to just like completely dominate the tempo with like Ursh, Pelly, get that swap into Arch, have a Amoonguss to support in the end game, and we just ran away with the game. Super nice right there. Getting to the next game here. Ooh, okay, Tail Room. Dark Ursh, Whimsicott, Fluttermane, Ursa, Ensign, and Farigiraf. Not the best, not the worst. Ursa shouldn't be outspeeding us in Tailwind here. I think I really like Amoonguss on lead. Like, it's a really passive lead, but I like Pelly. I'll go Urshifu. It's hard to make a lead that's good into everything that you could lead. But I'll go Fluttermane Amoonguss. I think that's our best option into everything that he can do into us. I'll go Fluttermane Amoonguss. And then I will have, I think, Arch. Arch is good into most of his team. Obviously, he's not the best into Ursa, but we can Terra Grass and get around it. And then as a closer, I'll go Pelly. It just has really awkward stuff if he's going for ground moves, right? You got Pelly in the back. Wide guard, super nice. If he's going for the Trick Room mode, we have other options. Turn 1, this is like the easiest Protect Spore I think I have ever seen. Be able to Spore any slot that comes in here. Doesn't have any Spore immunities, so we'd be completely fine. Actually, because then he can Encore us. I guess if he's Encoring us, I don't mind too much, because then we're taking something down with a Sludge Bomb, or we're locking ourselves into a Dazzling Gleam. Not the biggest deal in the world, but maybe we'd rather capitalize with Arch. So I actually think I will just lock a Gleam plus a Spore. If he takes us down here with like a Shadow Ball, you know it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. We'll have other options past this. That's completely fine here. We will bring in our Archaludon here, and then we can go for a... Let's see. You can lock ourselves into a Rage Powder here, and then I think I will just... I'll actually go for... Yeah, I'll go for a Flash Cannon here, and Rage Powder. Oh, we forgot a Mental Herb. Oops, that is my bad, 100%. We could have gotten the Sludge Bomb plus something else. I completely forgot about Mental Herb's interaction with Encore. I'm just not used to that interaction so much, just because it's not as prevalent, this format. It doesn't wake up. Should be fine. We'll live the Blitz. So we won't get punished too hard for getting that key interaction. And then we will just go for another Flash Cannon and a Rage Powder. And then I think Pelly should be able to live this. Yeah, most likely living a Terra Wicked Blow if he has it. In the back. So yeah. Forgot about that, but we should be fine here to lock an E-Shot plus a Hurricane. Just forfeit. Yeah, forgot about that, but we should be fine here. The matchup seems pretty good as long as we're continue to leading Flutter Amoonguss. I think if you lead something like Whimsicott Ursa, maybe it gets a bit shaky, but I definitely still like Arch and Pelly, just because it forces him to make some really awkward decisions in the end game. Urshflutter, definitely interesting, but I honestly think that I should be fine just going for a Gleam plus a Rage Powder here. We'll see who's faster, and then if we get his Flutter low enough, we can go for a Fairy Gleam. He is going to end up being faster here. And so now I will bring in, let's see, Pelly. Shouldn't be dying to a Shadow Ball unless he's like modest max, but then you're not going to be faster than me unless you're max. So we'll go Pelly. And we'll go for a Terra Fairy Gleam plus a nice Tailwind here. Keeps us from not getting Sucker Punched. And then we set up Tailwind here. So if he doesn't have Whimsicott in the back, we're set up very nicely here. We're set up very nicely no matter what. This Terra Fairy Gleam, it should get close on this Flutter Mane. And maybe we should have Terra Fairy'd. That way we got the 2-hit KO regardless, but we should be fine for this game because we're setting up Tailwind for the next turn. If he's bringing in Whims, we can Hurricane. Then we still have Arch in the back, plus for whatever he has in his back. I think he recognizes that now. He's going to go for the Sucker Punch plus the Shadow Ball, I assume. We live on a 1. Very good. Don't kill his Flutter, but that's fine. We'll get the Tailwind set up. Bring in Whimsicott. We're just good to go for a Gleam plus, I think we'd rather just have the Flutter Mane down, to be honest. Yeah, we'd rather just have Flutter Mane down. We'll go for the Hurricane here. And he will actually swap Ursa. Interesting. Well, I have bad news for him because now we're going to go for Gleam plus swap Arch. And he can go for Tailwind. I guess if he's going for EQ, then it's fine. But, I mean, even at that point, I'm not too worried about anything that he's going to be doing. I think we just keep going. We can go for, I actually like Moonblast here. Because then Pelly should be faster than his Ursa if he's going for Protect. But he shouldn't be going for Protect. He should be going for Attack. And if he is going for an Attack, then he's splitting in the end game. So if we attack for with Moonblast and he protects and kills our Whims, then we can double attack into the Ursa and get a double KO the next turn. And then if it's Ursa with Pelly versus Arch, he can't KO both at the same time because we're a flying type, is mainly what I'm trying to get out there. Just kind of went a bit too fast because I was thinking about it in my head rather than explaining it out loud. So we can just go for Gleam plus a Flash Cannon here onto the Flutter Mane. Doesn't really matter. Probably it's just going for Moonblast plus Terra Fairy Gleam, I assume. But needed both to crit there. And even then, with Gleam, we could have wide guarded him out. I guess if we're dying, we're not wide guarding him out. But yeah, get the win there. That was pretty good. The Mental Herb Amoonguss coming in clutch there. Even though we didn't realize it, can't Encore lock us crucially. But we just had the right pieces to deal with everything that he had. Which is going to be really nice. Play one more here. For the last match, it's going to be Cress Ursa with a Moltres, Water Pond, Sub Flutter, and Instant. So kind of like Nils' team from EYC, but a bit different. He has Water Pond instead of Amoonguss. Still has the Instant. Cress instead of the P2, and then he has Moltres instead of like an Urshifu. But I get the concept. Wide Guard should be able to shut down his stuff pretty easily. Gleam plus Moonblast is kind of a bad set in my opinion. You definitely want a bit of both Moonblast or Fairy Move plus Shadow Ball. I think Amoonguss does really well here. I just kind of have to piece the Mons together properly. I think Flutter is an amazing lead here. I think Flutter Ursh. Oh, no, Flutter Ursh isn't the best of the best. But yeah, if he's going to set Trick Room, maybe we go... Let's go Flutter Amoonguss. I think that's really solid. It gives us a lot of options. If he's setting Trick Room, it's very disruptive. And then in the back, I love Archaludon. Doesn't really have a lot of options for Archaludon. And then we'll go Pelly, just because it makes it really awkward for him. Yeah, so we'll go Instant Crest. So if he's going to try to get this Trick Room set up, right, he's going to have to deal with Amoonguss, which won't be the easiest for him to deal with. I think just Shadow Balling plus Sporing the Crest here, probably going to be our best play. Definitely want to keep this like Terra Grass option for our Archaludon here. If he's swapping to Ursa Raw, clicking Fake Out, you know, it's definitely an issue. He's going to go for Flare Blitz, but we live Flare Blitz. If he goes for Moonblast, then he's not getting Trick Room set up. He went for Trick Room, which is why he got Spored there. And then a Moonblast, and I think I will swap to Pelly. That way we're not eating Flare Blitz damage, and then we're keeping our Amoonguss alive with her Generator. He'll swap an Ursa here. We Moonblasted, so we'll be 100% fine there. It's going to take big damage. He's going to U-turn, take Rocky Helmet Chip. Now Instance down to 50%, which is going to be nice for us. He's going to swap an Ogerpon. And then I think I'm just going to Protect plus Hurricane Ogerpon here. I think we're completely fine doing that. He's going to Terra Water, presumably Ivy Cudgel into our Flutter Mane. Yep. We're going to get the Hurricane off. And then we can go for a Terra Dazzle, which should be enough to pick up the Crest, hopefully. And then I will go for Tailwind, so that way we can E-Shot plus. Oh, we got the crit. Not sure how much it mattered, but we will Tailwind just in case now here. Maybe we shouldn't have Terra'd. Maybe we shouldn't have Terra'd for the Ursa. Seeing that now, but I think that Amoonguss plus Pelly should be able to clean up the game regardless of that. Because if he's locking Headlong Rush, he's already burned his Terra. So should be fine in that department. We'll go Arch. Thought about not going Arch, but we'll go Arch. I'll go for E-Shot and then Weather Ball. Split damage here. Should be able to get a KO on one of them. We do. Cudgel is not enough there. E-Shot plus Weather Ball it will get us one KO, and then the other Mon should be able to win here. Maybe not. I'll go for... I don't think... Is Body Press enough for a KO on both? It isn't. It's a bit annoying. Definitely a bit annoying. Pelly is faster, right? And we're definitely not going to get a KO there. But I think our best chance is Body Press plus Weather Ball. In Body Press plus Hurricane. And then we'll get a KO. Oh, we crit. So we're fortunate there, but we kind of lock him out because of this combo. Because if he's going for Facade and a Pelly, then he's not attacking Arch. Arch already was +1, and then we had a Amoonguss Redirection. Still, because we saved it. So we're still fine there. I think we're just fine leaving the same thing, to be honest, and having Arch and Pelly in the back. Might just need to play a little bit better, but besides that, we should be fine. Yeah, I think it should be fine here. I'm assuming our Flutters are going to be around the same speed. I hope that mine's faster, because being able to get an attack in before he does is pretty important. Our Flutter also does live that Cudgel, so even if he's going for a Cudgel like that, turn 1, if he leads Ogerpon, we should still be fine. Sludge Bomb is nice into his Ogerpon, whittles it down. I don't think he ever brings Moltres. He's going to bring the same thing, interestingly enough. I think he might go for that turn 1 Ursa Luna swap, maybe? I don't know. Seems a bit weird. He could go for it, I guess. Plus Fake Out. Either Fake Out plus the swap. Here, we get him a lot of value. But I think I'm fine just going for Shadow. Nah, I want to be aware of it. I'll go for this. Terra Fairy, Moonblast. Plus that. Goes for Trick Room. We can just click Spore plus Gleam now. And then the next turn we can click Sludge plus whatever. Maybe we shouldn't have Terra'd. I think just a normal Moonblast would have sufficed. Plus the same game plan that we were talking about. Yeah, you could go for a U-turn here. But even then, I think we're fine. Ooh, Helping Hand. Okay. Hello. We eat the Flare Blitz. Goes to sleep. Since he Helping Handed, that's his first turn. Right? It's his first turn. His instant could be faster. You could be Jolly Max. I'm hoping he's Jolly Max. That'd be the best case scenario for us. Probably not, though. I think we're fine just to go for a Hurricane plus a D-Gleam, and then he'll have whatever he has in the back. Yeah, obviously he's not. Unfortunately, we don't have the Protect to go for there, but we'll wipe the board. And then he has to burn a turn here to get set up here with Ursa plus whatever he has in the back. Ursa Flutter. Wow. That is shocking. He already burned Terra, right? So Weather Ball probably just kills him. And then Fluttermane can be Arch, but kind of has a hard time. I think I will go for a Moonblast there and Weather Ball here. So just go for a normal Facade. Doesn't get there. Weather Ball doesn't get there either. And then Moonblast will bring his Flutter down super low. Moonblast will bring my Flutter down to about mid HP. Ours is actually slower, but crucially, he can't sub anymore. So we're fine just to protect out this last turn and go for a Hurricane to his Flutter. And that should wrap up the game here. He'll die from burn damage this turn. The next turn, his Flutter will be faster, but then we'll have 2 mons to attack because we still have our Archaludon in the back here. Goes for Earthquake, doesn't matter. Still have Arch in the back. It's just a Moonblast plus a Weather Ball here. And Pelly will be able to pick up the KO nicely. So thank you, Pelly. And yeah, that should end it there for us. See if he has any, bold ideas to try to bring this back, this 3-1 back, but we will see. Unless he's just gonna stall us out of time, or oh no. I guess he might be doing that. But yeah, I think the team overall is like super good here. This guy was like mid ladder, so not that bad. Fluttermane's actually gonna live that. So yeah, we get the KO, but yeah, I mean, that was pretty good. I think we played like 4 or 5 sets here. Went decently well. I think we actually won all of them, which is always, never want to lose, always want to win. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. Like and subscribe would go a long way. Hopefully trying to get more videos out to you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the team. If there's anything you guys want to see next, just let me know in the comments, and maybe I can run some teams based on your guys' ideas.